You're watching Doc Deason's weather. You're watching Doc Deason's weather.
2 decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's weather, live now.
There we go. That'll get that squared. Sorry about the audio there. So we've got a couple of counties under tornado warning now. Been watching storms here for the last few hours, and they were behaving themselves pretty well. As this line came in, though, the individual cells that were not seemingly having much trouble began to see some enhancement occur, and so we've got a couple of areas that we're keeping an eye on for the moment. So let's start to kind of work around here, and I'm getting up to speed on it, and we'll get you guys in there as well. All right, first warning that we have will cover southwestern Smith County. This is going to be very much. They're from CUNY back up to New Hope in southeast or southwestern Smith County. That's going to cover you guys there near near Lake Palestine. So do want to have you aware of that. Although I think the bulk of this is going to get east of the lake pretty quick. Here's 346 right here. Let's take this over and make a couple of moves real quick. I want to put us back on reflectivity here, and we're going to look at the the Fort Worth radar for now, just out of the fact that this thing is still kind of on that western side. So again, we're looking back towards Fort Worth. We've got some area down here with some noise in it. When we're talking about this type of thing, we're looking at winds that are blowing back towards Fort Worth. In this case, the red pixels indicating anything moving away from that side. So we've got some rotation there southwest of Bullard. We're looking a pretty good ways up in the storm at this particular spot as the radar beam rises and moves away from the Fort Worth site there. But you guys on the southwest side of Bullard, if there is something there between Bullard and CUNY, let's be mindful of this. This is going to be, again, west of 69, all right? So let's put that into a bit better perspective there. So let's put some additional towns in this area as well. So, and I'm going to look at this on, let's do that. So that'll help us a little bit more. Good morning, Kim. Whipping pretty good, Josh in Lindale? Okay. Thank you for that, bud. So, here's here's 346. So this anything rotating is going to be there near that County Road 2137 area here, most likely. Again, we're southwest of Bullard. So that's one area that we want to keep the eye on. Nothing confirmed by Weather Service, except for the fact that they see rotation there, and it got enough going with it that they have opted to issue that warning. So that's our first one. Here's the second one, and this here also impacting, but that would be northern Smith County. Again, both of these are going to not affect the city of Tyler proper. The polygon for the Lindale storm. It does include Hideaway Lake. Got some strong winds. It looks like along Interstate 20 right now. They're near Hideaway. I don't see anything that's terribly dramatic as far as the circulation goes per se. To my eye for the moment, but man, it is coming a torrent here in Smith County in the city of Tyler. I will say that right now. So let's see here. Sounds like the Weather Service is also. Okay, I'm sorry. So it looks like anything going on there is potentially going to be on the north side of Lindale. If we're just trying to analyze the velocity product there, like I said, though, you've got some stout wind along the interstate there, near Hideaway Lake. That would be rushing off to the east, and besides the tornadic potential, which is obviously there, some strong winds that are going to run east-west along I-20, crossing probably pretty close to 69 right now, is something we want to be aware of that. But again, as folks are kind of waking up and trying to figure out what the heck's going on, we've got tornado warnings that are impacting the northwest and also the southwestern part of Smith County. Neither polygon is covering the city of Tyler itself. That's a pretty good little wind signature there though. About to get into southwestern Smith County. Down there, just on the southwest side of Bullard. Trinity's at the Brookshires there, lightning really rough there in Bullard. Okay, thanks for that, Trinity. You bet, Paige. Glad we were keeping an eye on things. I had just stepped outside to check my rain gauge and was watching the line. It got itself together, or these individual storms got themselves together very quickly when that line started moving in from the north, and it was very noticeable. Didn't look at this setup particularly as a huge tornado threat per se, but it looked like more hail and wind. But anytime you're interacting with a boundary and you've got thunderstorms that are in play, that's when you can start to see stuff can kind of spin up a little bit more readily than just, than otherwise you'll see sometimes. So anytime storms run along a boundary, interact with that, that's when things can start to happen. So you bet, Kathy. Glad we're here. Glad you're here. Glad some folks are here. We got a lot of people here. For it to be almost 5 o'clock on Memorial Day. And again, that brings in another thought. I know we got a lot of people who are in RVs doing some less than normal things with Memorial Day weekend. So the wind was one thing that did cause me just some pause this morning, just thinking about that and the folks who are in areas and situations that they're not accustomed to being, whether they're camping or just out by the lake or whatnot. So we want to be sure we're covering those folks properly. So we got a south wind at 16 right now here in Tyler. I'm over near Broadway Square Mall You bet, Misty. Glad you're here. So we had only received a little less than 1/10 of an inch of rain before this stuff started swinging in. So let's see what this looks like back on radar scope real quick. So whatever is cooking down there near Bullard, again, we're looking at the Fort Worth side here. So I say that almost to myself as much as I say to you guys. So you think green's going to be running this direction? Anything red is outbound. So if there is something in that Bullard area, it'll be coming up from the southwest on the southwest side of town at this point, or just southwest of Bullard at this point. Tornado sirens in Lindale, Joey. Okay, thanks for that. I have not seen anything indicating touchdown or anything of that nature. This is all radar indicated, okay? Okay, Weather Service is they're seeing some of that rotation as well. So, you guys in southwestern, in Bullard proper, let's go ahead and exercise those tornado precautions. So let's talk about those here for a second. It's 5 o'clock. Thanks for stopping by here this morning. We are live on YouTube as well as X. So if you've got some people who are not particularly involved in the social media piece, but they are on YouTube or have YouTube access, feel free to send them over. You can find me there at Doc Deason. Sirens, but nothing hard. Off of 2710, Paul. Thanks for that. So the tornado precautions, again, centermost part of the building or the structure that you're in, you want to be on that lowest floor, okay? I'd rather you be downstairs as opposed to upstairs. The structure itself will weaken as you move further up off of that foundation. Second, on the important scale, is we like small interior rooms, closets, things of that nature. They have a small profile. They're usually a little bit sturdier than some of the other places you might get to. Bathtubs are good. Heavy blankets, comforter, get that over the top of you. And avoid windows as well. That's the weakest part of any structure. Additional thoughts: avoid large rooms, gymnasiums, things like that. Not a problem today. Most folks are tucked in. Don't seek shelter under an overpass for sure. Vehicles, not a good option. RVs, not a good option. Evacuate mobile homes, again, not a good option. Anytime you got something with a heavy wind load, you don't want to be in things like that. Shoes especially, okay? Let's be in a place where we can move and maneuver quickly. All right, let's go back to radar because this rotation has gotten much more impressive. I see what the Weather Service was talking about now. All right, so here we are, Bullard. You guys in Bullard need to be exercising these tornado precautions, okay? No initial signs of touchdown, of reports of that, the like, but do want you guys in Bullard to be buttoned up, okay? We've got plenty of wind moving outbound directly close by to some of this inbound stuff from the Fort Worth radar site. So Bullard, let's seek that shelter, okay, right now. And then you guys who are downstream from Bullard want to do the same thing, okay? Getting a little bit tighter on that. We'll be able to put some additional markers on here as well. So the polygon itself goes up to the east of Bullard off of 344, out Keepersall area. Good job, Joshua. Yeah, let's get buttoned up, man. So that's a definite area of concern there for me right now. We have the additional warning for this northern Smith County storm. I know you guys in Bullard, we've had the sirens going off here of late. And I want to look at that here real fast. So let's get off of this, back out just a shade. Not as much in the way of pronounced rotation in this northern Smith County storm here. I'm seeing a lot of. We've got broader rotation there. I would argue, pretty close to the city of Lindale now proper. Going to be some good wind in there. Yeah, Jerry's got sirens there, Lindale. Good. I'm glad they're putting the sirens on because the warning is there, and so that would justify it. I know it's scary to have that stuff come up on you in the middle of the night when you're asleep and just kind of disoriented. But again, we have two separate tornado warnings. We got the northern Smith County storm, which does include Lindale. You guys downstream of that on 16, heading west or east rather towards Winona. Be mindful of that. But the honestly the more impressive situation right now is going to be this area down here near Bullard. Okay, so I'm going to focus on this a little bit more heavily with the understanding that we'll kind of bob back and forth, but more sizable rotation down near the city of Bullard proper. And the warning itself, this is skating pretty quick off to the north and east, and Shreveport very well may end up pushing a new warning downstream toward Whitehouse. I don't know. That's their call to make, but it looks to me like this thing is about to exit that initial polygon that they issued. And we're going to probably pull this thing over to Shreveport's site here. So let me do that real fast now that we're making eastward progress. So we'll do a couple of things here. And we're going to do that here on a radar scope. So let's go out for just a second. It's 5:05. Didn't mean to wake you up like this. I was fixing to go make some tea and kind of babysit the radar, as we say. Yeah, it's a lot brighter. Calming down in Bullard, Kim, good. I would figure so with what that all looks like. Try to pull this up so I'm not blocking the radar as bad. Siren still in Lindale, Taryn. Okay, thank you for that. Wind's picking up here at the house in Tyler. We're up to about 23, which is not bad, obviously, but man, I do get some sleep, Gary. I just didn't sleep too much tonight. Okay, Weather Service downstream warning coming for the tornado, far southwest Smith County. So they are going to put Whitehouse in this. So you guys in Whitehouse, like we talked about, I figured they'd do that. So you guys in Whitehouse, let's keep that in mind. You very well may have sirens activating for you guys here in a few minutes once that thing hits the wire. So we're at 5:07. We've got southwestern, south central Smith County involved in a tornado warning. A new one coming here just in a few moments further downstream. Pretty loud thunder. Okay, yeah, could have been a transformer, Kim, down there. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Yeah, power outage is not a surprising thing to deal with on a night like tonight. So before the new warning comes in for southern Smith County and you guys downstream of Bullard heading towards Whitehouse, we've still got hefty thunderstorm northern Smith County, Lindale area. Sirens have been sounded Lindale for a while now. I haven't seen anything reporting or indicating a touchdown or anything of that nature in Lindale. Some good wind though. So this would all indicate winds blowing out. The reds are outbound. We're on the Shreveport site now. So morning, Stephanie. So more broader rotation there of that northern Smith County storm, which is good. Broad is good. Tight is not good. Tight rotation is something that we want to shy away from. Broader stuff, you see that in a lot of these more organized storms. Weather Service is now issuing that new warning for southeastern South Central Smith County. Regardless, this will be the one that covers Whitehouse. Let's stand by and hit that real quick.
Tornado warning.
All right, so this is the warning for Smith County, southern and southeastern Smith County. The polygon will populate here just in a second. This is going to be the one that will include you folks in the city of Whitehouse. There it is on radar Omega at least. So, all right. So what we have is crossing 69 right now. There near New Hope. This is going to be the north of Bullard. Okay, here's our spot of interest right here. Like we always talk about, these this blue greenish shading is indicating those winds that are blowing in towards the Shreveport radar side. Anything in red is pushing back away from that, so we can infer from this that we've got something rotating pretty respectably there on the east side of 69. Now it takes a couple minutes for the radar to update, so these images are not live per se, but they're the best thing that we've got to work with. All right, so this will be heading over towards Antioch. Here's 344, so we're north of 344, I think, on this. North of 344, east of 69. So there's Antioch. Downstream of that, obviously, Whitehouse. Here's 110. That runs the good north-south artery from Tyler. If you're new to the area, be mindful of that. If you're on near Lake Tyler, okay, I know we got a lot of folks who were sitting out there tonight at the lake. Want you guys to be mindful of that and take those tornado precautions as we speak. Okay, I don't try not to be an alarmist on this kind of stuff. I think you people know me well enough by now to understand that. But if we've got folks who are out along that lake, Tyler East or the old lake, we need to have yourself buttoned up. Okay. Hopefully you've got. I know we've got some more sturdier shelters, outbuildings in some of these camp areas there along Lake Tyler. I'm thinking of the Boulder specifically, those restroom area, things like that, where we can get to that has at least a little bit more fortification than just being hung out there in those RVs. Last week was the anniversary of that tornado that crossed Lake Palestine there at the marina. And did some decent damage at that RV spot on the, I guess that would be on the west side of 155. Flipped some RVs over quite easily, it looked like. So let's be aware of that, conscious of those kinds of things. If you got people out there at the lake, give them a holler, give them a call. Be sure they're in the loop on this. So I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to alarm overly so, but I also don't want to undersell what's going on. So Whitehouse sirens are going off now, Jessica. Okay, thanks for that. We're at 5:11 now. This latest tornado warning for southern Smith County. This includes the city of Whitehouse. Much more impressive rotation there. In that storm, now approaching Highway 110 from the west, kind of west-southwest over towards the Antioch area. You guys in Lindale, not forgetting about you. Tornado warning continues for you guys in northern Smith County for another 3 minutes. All right, so that'll expire at 5:15. The rotation there looks a bit more broad, which is great. Again, talked about broad's better. Tight is not what we want to see there. So, warning for you guys, northern Smith County, another couple of minutes. This guy here, though, southern Smith County, near Whitehouse. This is one we want to pay very close attention to. All right. Sirens in Whitehouse. Okay, thanks, bud. So again, a couple more minutes for the northern Smith County warning. I haven't seen any indication from Weather Service that they are going to extend that. So hopefully that is some some assist and some calm for you guys. Let me do one thing real quick. Yeah, we're fixing to get back into Whitehouse there, at least. Just 1 second, okay? I'm just trying to converse with a couple of folks here. This warning again continues southwest or southeastern Smith County. We'll call it there near Whitehouse. Tornado warning itself goes until that would be 6 o'clock. Yeah, they killed the sirens there in Andrea and Lindale. Good. Glad for that. Whitehouse sirens have been going off, and for good reason. Whatever rotation that we've got is approaching Highway 110 right now, as we said earlier. So that's going to be right along, maybe just a skosh south of 346. Here's Biloxi or 756 right here that runs north-south. So there's the 346 intersection there on the what would be kind of the southwest side or the west side of Whitehouse, probably more appropriate. Sirens have stopped, Chris, in Whitehouse. Okay. Sirens going at Overton, though. All right, Kelsey, thank you for that. Yeah, a lot of lightning there still, Gary, and Bullard. You're going to keep that in there for a little while. There's quite a bit of rain and storms going on, so... look at this real fast. Let me put this on a loop too. So you can see that thing. It's held itself together for good ways. That rotation. All right. So, now they're at 516. That Lindale warning should have fallen off. Yeah. So they've let that expire. So the Lindale warning, Northern Smith County, you guys, that has been allowed to expire. I don't see any new reports on that. So this is the main game in town. Is this thing right here near Whitehouse? All right. So at least we can focus and not have anyone feel like we're leaving them flat here. Let's look at this real fast too. Let's go to 4-panel. All right, so Fort Worth must be doing something. Okay, yeah. Okay. All right. So, you guys, there, southwest side of Whitehouse. Let's south side of Whitehouse, I guess I should say at this point. Let's keep those tornado precautions in place. We're going to talk about a severe thunderstorm warning first from our western counties here just in a second, but that is non-tornadic at the moment. So this doesn't look quite as pronounced from a rotational perspective as it did a few minutes ago. At least it does there. It doesn't there. You bet, David. Thank you, bud. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Amber, I saw that here just a second ago. Trying to figure out the discrepancy there. Yeah, Donnie, I know it's got to be loud there. A lot of lightning in this thing, so you're going to have, it's going to be a ton of thunder and lightning. So I'm not surprised to hear that. Weather Service, while we got just 1 second here, I do want to cover this new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. Let's do that real fast. Let's pull off of this, get into this here real quick.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
All right, so you guys back further to the west, quarters possible, and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Severe thunderstorm warning for Henderson County, southern Van Zant, and Henderson County. So you guys in Van Zant County saw that storm that came across just a couple minutes ago and brought the tornado warning for northern Smith County. So did want to cover that severe thunderstorm warning for you guys, southern Van Zant and northern half of Henderson County until what is that going to be? See you for about till about 6:15. Okay, so I did want to mention that real fast. Back on this guy here, then it's 5:21. So we're watching this rotation again. This is going to be getting. It's going to be going over that area of Smith County. We got Lake Tyler out there. So as I talked about here 20, 30 minutes ago, if you've got folks who are in an RV situation, any kind of remote camping type thing there along Lake Tyler, let's get those people up to speed on this, okay? Weather Service did go ahead and extend the tornado warning to the east for very good reason, seeing as we've got the, we've had a pretty strong circulation there with that thing here, particularly about 20 minutes or so ago. Touch base with this guy very fast. All right. So, and this thing seems to be trying to cycle a little bit better. It's trying to pick itself back up a little bit better there now that it's getting a little bit to the northeast of Whitehouse. Yeah. So sirens have stopped. My friend Carl Prather said in Whitehouse. That's good there. This is quickly getting over to the east of Whitehouse. So here's 848 right here. I would think that's you guys downstream in Chapel Hill need to be aware that this thing is headed your general direction. Okay, so you can see that latest scan right there. Yeah, that's. So on the velocity product here on the right-hand side of the screen, that red indication they've got winds moving away from Shreveport, the blues and greens running toward that Shreveport site. Morning, Patty. So if we've got something rotating, it's going to be approaching Highway 64 there now. just kind of southwest of Chapel Hill. But nonetheless, I haven't seen any reports from anything having been cited, which is obviously what you want to have as far as reports go. It's kind of cycling, Shelby. I think I think that's what you're referring to. These things will they will kind of run on a cycle, and you'll see that circulation tighten up, and they tend to cycle back up in intensity, and so that it's just kind of an ebb and flow type of situation. Ashley, nothing doing you guys, Tyler, by TJC. This the warning itself is going to be south and the east of you guys. So Smitty and Tyler not in the polygon. I think the Weather Service they're going to do a new I think a flood related warning here. Yeah, they are. All right, yeah, let's hit that too while we're talking about it.
Flash flood warning.
So Weather Service doing a flash flood warning now that's going to include a couple of counties. So we're talking Upshur, Rusk, Gregg, Wood, Cherokee, Smith, and Harrison counties. That's going to run. That'll be a couple of hours. What are they going to do on that? So they're going to run that until 8:30. So we're at 5:25 now, so we'll be under flash flood warning for all of those counties: northwestern Cherokee, Gregg, west central Harrison, northern Rusk, Smith, southern Upshur, and southeastern Wood County until 8:30. So not really a big surprise. There's a lot of moisture out there. It's coming down in buckets where it is raining, and so that's not to be a surprise per se. So back here on our tornado warned storm, that's going to be very near Chapel Hill right now, crossing Highway 64. Whitehouse, you guys clear, Sherry? Yeah, you're okay there in Whitehouse. Rain's really picked back up here in South Tyler too. Sirens going off in Overton, Robin. That's good. That's that is a good move. I think the storm itself is probably going to pass just north of you guys in Overton. So here's Overton, here's ARP, here's 64. Give you some markers. This thing is moving off to the northeast, so should pass, should clear you guys in ARP and Overton pretty well. But having the sirens there, hey, you're in the box per se in Overton. So I can appreciate what they're trying to do, and better to be safer than wishing you'd done something different. So the only warning that we have for tornado is going to be this Smith County storm here. The official warning that started all of this and it covered northern Cherokee County, that's going to expire. It'll fall off here in a second. Okay. All right. That explains it. So Weather Service is going to they kept this box here out of respect for the wind that we've got. There's a lot of noise in this thing too. Back to the southwest over southwestern Smith County. This will expire though here in 2 minutes at 5:30. Tanya, road markers for the Chapel Hill area. 64. I think crossing 64 right now, and it has crossed 64, heading towards 850. There's 3226. I just had a power hit here in town. So this is going to continue approaching 850, and it's getting out toward the edge of this polygon pretty quick. Another 32 minutes on the actual timeline. The actual time expiration time on this polygon, but this thing will be out of there before then. Thanks, Russell. Appreciate you being here. Lexington 49 has winds going both directions, Megan says. Okay, thank you for that. All right. So we're going to have... Is that what this is here? Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and do... Let's back out of this for just 1 second. So the Weather Service is at this point issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning. So let's hit that.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
So that's going to be for pretty much these storms that run along from Gilmer back to Tyler. Sorry about that. So Gilmer to Tyler. This stuff moving to the south. Yeah, they're going southeast at about 35 miles an hour. So they're going to issue that for 60-mile-an-hour winds and just not quite quarter-sized hail. So the wind is the real leading thing on this. So that was what we've been talking about for the past couple of days, was going to be the winds on the leading edge of this line. And so that is what seems to be getting its act together here now. So we've got severe thunderstorm warning. That'll be for Upshur County. They're going to keep Rusk County in there, Gregg, Panola, Cherokee, Smith, and Harrison. That is not a tornado warning. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? So you guys, Gilmer, you're seeing that right now, especially south and east of Gilmer. That outflow is probably getting out ahead of this thing a little bit. But you guys in Longview, y'all are in the box on that, as are folks in Gladewater, down to Tyler. And then this southern Smith County area, we got the tornado warning there. Which is, out ahead of this main line, but that'll get into here as well. Thanks, Uniquely. I appreciate you. You're sweet. So we got 5:31. Didn't think you'd be up this early on Memorial Day, did you? So sorry you are. But we're going to hopefully walk you through this and give you a little bit of peace of mind. So as far as the tornado warning goes, that circulation is near 850 now. In that southeastern part of eastern part of Smith County. It'll be right up on Highway 31 here shortly. I don't know what the Weather Service will do with this thing insofar as extension on it. I wouldn't be surprised given the fact that it's been pretty persistent. But again, I haven't seen anything that would indicate a touchdown or anything like that. So as far as that's concerned, I haven't seen any indication of it. But this thing is going to be so shrouded in rain anyway, it's going to be hard to see. Hit a couple things real quick. Here we go. Here we are. Okay. So the warning for Smith County officially goes until 6 o'clock. If they're gonna do anything, they're gonna extend this thing further downstream, if it's chosen to do that, because this thing's just about outside of the box, with 27 minutes to go. So we'll see what's decided upon. Still raining pretty heavy here, and got a pretty good amount of wind too here at the house. We're gusting to 30 now. And what is that there? Yeah, okay. So Weather Services, they are extending. Yeah, they're going to do an extension here. Stand by.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
All right, so their Weather Service doing an extension on the severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to now include you guys in, let's see here, Upshur, Marion County, Cass, Camp, Morris, Harrison. So it's all to account for the same line of storms. They issued for the southern area first, and then went ahead and are going to issue all the way up to Texarkana, pretty much for that line of storms. That's all attached, or the leading edge, I should say. There's a huge mass of rain here, but the leading edge is really where the problems are at. So Weather Service is going to just issue severe thunderstorm warnings downstream, or back up to the north and northeast. Okay, and then here's what I was waiting on here. All right, let's do this.
Tornado warning.
Okay, Weather Service is going to issue, they're going to go ahead and go further downstream like we talked about for that tornado warning, which, as I said, this thing's moving pretty quick and is kind of outrunning the coverage somewhat on it. But we've got new tornado warning now, which will be further downstream into eastern Smith County. It's going to clip you guys who are in Rusk County. Includes Kilgore, and it's going to also spin things up into Gregg County. So we've got Smith, Gregg, and Rusk counties under tornado warning, and that's going to run here until for about another 40 minutes. Again, this is not this is radar indicated. Okay, have not seen anything reporting touchdown or anything of that nature, but still we want to give it the amount of respect that it deserves. This is going to be, the circulation would be there near Douglas, kind of along 31. Okay, here's 246, here's 31. Give you guys some markers. Tana, Whitehouse, you guys okay right now in Whitehouse as far as the tornadic piece of this is concerned, but there's still some good wind and some broad circulation back to the southwest that is something that could linger on the back end of this. So we're going to continue to keep our eyes peeled, I should say. Yeah, sirens back on in Whitehouse. The warning itself doesn't expire for another 24 minutes for Whitehouse, but the main circulation that brought all this on is now heading northeast and heading up towards Liberty City. Yeah, I saw that, Ashley. Thank you, Tana. I see that. Thank you for that. Yeah, Danielle, the warning itself runs until 6 o'clock for the tornado warning itself. We've got severe thunderstorm warning for the line that's coming in. A couple of things to note. First off, there's a complex of storms coming in. The leading edge of it is where the wind threat is going to be concentrated. And then out ahead of that, we have these little storms that are kind of interacting, maybe on some outflow or something of that nature, and those are what has spun up the tornado warnings. So we're looking at a couple of different pieces that are moving simultaneously. There's a new scan coming in, though. So the warnings that affect the city of Tyler, that's a severe thunderstorm warning there. Okay, that's going to be for 60-mile-an-hour wind potential and hail that's not quite as big as a quarter. The tornado warning products have never affected the city of Tyler proper. Those have all been south, whether that be down towards Bullard earlier or Whitehouse, or now into the easternmost part of the county. So hopefully that helps to give a little bit of perspective on that. But There's some strong wind in here near Whitehouse, but and then we'll keep an eye on maybe a little bit of rotation there. Back to this, man. It is raining hard here in town now. Yeah, Gary, nothing like juggling on a holiday, no less. At least it's cooled it off. We're at 68 here in town now, so that's good. Oof, man, it was sticky about an hour ago. So yeah, there's a nice little pocket of rotation, kind of a secondary area here. South of Bascom, here's 848. See this here? There's 848 Bascom Road. Right there where Old Omen and Bascom meet. This will be something we keep an eye on too. Brittany, yeah, I understand. A lot of wind there in the Whitehouse area. The tornado warning officially has not been pulled for Whitehouse, although the main storm that brought all this on is heading off towards Liberty City. But we got a couple of areas of rotation there. One of them back to the north, approaching Highway 64, and back between Bascom and New Chapel Hill right now. But I still want to keep an eye on things down on the kind of on the tail end of this, over the city of Whitehouse proper for another 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, I think you guys in Whitehouse are on the back end of that now. This thing is moving off, like you said, calming down in Whitehouse. So what I'm seeing is off, getting off to the east, and also to the northeast of town. Let's pull this back up. Yeah, that's a nice little pocket there. East Whitehouse. Yeah. Yeah, you guys along 848. This will be northeast of Whitehouse. See this area right here? So here's 110, goes north-south. There's 848. Some strong wind in here. Things calming down in Whitehouse, though. Still, they're looking okay there in Whitehouse for the time. Wind's still moving about 20 to 30 here in South Tyler. Sirens going off again in Whitehouse, Jess? Okay. So we're watching that. Here's the line that get kind of a broader look at all of this. The heaviest of the rainfall running really from just east of Gilmer, back into the city of Tyler, especially that area along and kind of on the southeast loop, right there where 110 and the loop meet, back over across Highway 64, Highway 31. Guys, at noonday, going to get some hefty rain here shortly, and this will continue. I'm going to adjust something here real quick. All right. Good size hail at Roan's Quarter, Avery. Okay. If you could, yeah, I'm hearing that 2661, seeing some hail too. If you guys can give me any kind of estimate on size, penny, peas, that's great if you can. I don't want you putting yourself in some kind of danger by doing it, but if you have that, that would be great just to pass along. All right, let's look back on our velocity product here real quick. So we'll keep an eye on this area. It looks like a bit broader road. It looks like more wind than anything else there. About to cross Chapel Hill from the west. Here's 64. These brighter blue pixels here, 50 to 60 mile an hour winds potentially in that. Okay, and that looks like it's just kind of snaking down into northern Cherokee County for that matter. And then another pocket of some little bit brighter wind there, south of 31, between 31 and 64. That doesn't necessarily look tornadic per se. It just looks like it's more just maybe a little pocket of some downburst wind. Let's get thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located just northwest of Bullard, 11 miles northeast of Whitehouse, moving north at 25 miles per hour. I'll look at something here real quick, y'all. Just give me 1 second. That's strange. 34. Okay. Small hail, South Tyler. Thanks, Joseph. I'm glad we helped, Brittany. Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate you. Pea size there, Jeff. Okay. Thank you, man. That's good to know. Marbles by UT. Thanks, Beth. Thanks for being up. Appreciate that report. All right. So the warnings that we have are affecting southeastern Smith County for tornado warnings, I should say. There's some decent wind there approaching on the south side of Chapel Hill, approaching 64 from the southwest. There is also another pocket of some decent wind back just south of Interstate 20, eastern Smith County. So here's 31, here's 20. This would be southwest of Liberty City. That kind of sticks out to me. So everything related to tornadoes is going to be eastern and eastern Smith County, headed over into extreme eastern parts of Gregg County at the moment. Well, at least they came back on, Shannon, so that's good. Got that going for you. Yeah, Pease is what I'm seeing more prominently from this thing in southern Smith County at the moment, at least. You guys at Longview, you're under severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. You got some heavy rain there moving into the Longview area proper. The wind tornado threat is going to exit, or is going to begin to enter. Probably better said, western Gregg County here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So we want to be aware of that. We've got warning boxes that do include, though, northwestern Rusk County at the moment. A lot of noise down here in southern Smith County. The good thing is this is getting off to the east and northeast of Lake Tyler, which was my big concern once we started kind of looking at this and assessing where things were going to be going with the RVs and the camping situation that we have going on a night like tonight. Still some strong wind there in this thing, though. These blue pixels here, just to give you, 60 to 70 potentially. Now, all this is not going to be reaching the ground, but when we start to just kind of noodle over this a little bit, if 3/4 of that or half of that's getting there, it still could bring some limbs down, things of that nature, but doesn't look as pronounced. You bet, Brent. Thank you. No power between 110 and 64, west side of town. Okay. Lost it about 30 to 45 minutes ago. Okay, Alyssa, thanks for that. It's 5:51, so we've got tornado warnings continuing for another 24 minutes for you guys in eastern Smith County. Warning goes for another 8 minutes for southern and kind of that south of eastern Smith County area. We've got severe thunderstorm warning, which covers multiple counties. That's going to run for another 35 or so minutes. And that covers a lot of that broad severe thunderstorm warning that they lay out for the strong straight line of wind potential along the leading edge of this complex. Okay, going from up near Texarkana down through Cass County, you guys, Linden, Dangerfield, Lone Star, Jefferson. You got storms north of you, and then stronger stuff back off to the west of you for winds. That includes you guys, Lake of the Pines too, by the way. Nothing tornadic there per se, but enough straight line wind concern for me to just think about that when we've got as many people in let's say more fragile surroundings when it comes to camping and whatnot. Longview in the severe thunderstorm warning also. Marshall, you guys are on the edge of it. It'll get to you, though, eventually. And I guess the northern part of Marshall is actually in that severe thunderstorm warning polygon. Kilgore, you guys in the tornado polygon and the severe thunderstorm warning polygon. Henderson, you'll have some strong winds get in there on the leading edge of this line here in the next 20 minutes or so. No power near Jack. Thanks, Melissa. Been a lot of lightning in this stuff. Henderson County also severe thunderstorm warning for you guys, and as well as northern or southeastern Van Zandt County. But it looks like the heavier of the rain and wind concern has now exited out of Van Zandt County. Although that warning stay in play for another 22 minutes. Yeah, I've seen some impressive lightning. right, so let's look at this. Let's look at velocity on radar scope real quick. So a pocket of stronger winds there, northeast of Chapel Hill. I'm not seeing the real bright tornado potential that I saw here a little bit earlier, which is good. Doesn't mean you can't still see some strong straight line winds, so I don't want to undersell that, but I do think it's worth noting. I know some people get especially keyed up, obviously, when you start throwing the T word around there. All right, let's look back. Quarter. Had some folks asking about Roans Quarter and 346 area. It's a lot of heavy rain for now, y'all. Light rain, lots of thunder and lightning near the marina. Thanks, GL. Appreciate it. It'll be 6 o'clock before you know it. Aren't you proud of yourself for getting up so early on a holiday like this? Man. Comes a new scan. Hey, Lisa, you bet. Good to see you. Tell Joe hi for me. Yeah, Trevor, I know. Yeah, I don't think we've had a watch issued. Yeah, I didn't see any watches even issued. I'll be curious to see what Storm Prediction Center does on that. It's a good point. Thanks, Joe Henry. Because yeah, like you said, we don't even have a watch out per se. It's a lot going on. Not to have one, but and I may have missed it along the way, but I don't think they had ever issued a watch. We had the watch earlier for the Hopkins County, I think, and rains were in the watch last night, but that was it. And then the line kind of started to peter out. But these storms that got going out ahead of it, that's what spun all this up. They really started interacting with that. And when you get storms converging on each other, and there's a lot of things that can happen. We got a decent amount of wind, just aloft off the surface. And so there's a lot of moisture and stuff getting fed into these things. So they can, they can start acting up. Just going to kind of scan over this velocity here every now and then on the radar scope. Yeah, I know, Trevor. So we'll hang here. Keep you, particularly while we got the tornado warnings going. Hailing at 346 in Roans Quarter, Kyle. Thank you. Any estimate on the size, bud? Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Means a lot. Thanks to my friends also at Rose City Air for helping to support us on this as well. Appreciate them. Heath and the guys. All right, so Yeah, they could. They could. They're going to definitely put a damper on things. Matthew asking about storms weakening the atmosphere. Yeah, I mean it takes a while to recoup. The thing about it is, I mean, we've got a full day of, we got a full day ahead of us. But yeah, there will be some downturn. When you're zapping as much juice out of the air mass as you are, it takes a while to recoup that. You bet, Kitty. Glad you're here. So that'll be interesting to watch. I was expecting it to be more of a washout this morning, but there's a lot going on. So you had some wind in Cayuga, Misty. All right. Good to know. Yeah, that leading edge there coming into northwestern Anderson County. Used to DJ high school dances out there in Cayuga back in the 90s. Good people. That was close. 6 a.m. we did lose that southwestern tornado warning. Julian asking about that. So yeah, they let that fall off at 6. This warning here goes for till 6:15. The downstream warning. So that would be for this. You've got there's a couple of suspicious looking areas per se. More wind, I think, really. 64 breaks up a little bit down towards ARP. And then you got this pocket here. There's Liberty City. Some broader rotation in here. Nothing really super tightly confined. There's a little. We'll see what another scan shows us there near 850, east of 64. There's Chapel Hill. So I'm keeping a little eye on this for now, but there's a new scan, and it's something to watch, but nothing that's just brightly, radiating out of here, making you think, wow, trouble. Not seeing anything like that, at least for now. Yeah, it could be coming a little bit more outflow dominant. Yeah, Bobby, I see what you're saying. So let's take this off here. So just for a general status update, you guys in southern Smith County there near Whitehouse, heavy rainfall is what we're seeing. Another good storm there near Berryville. There's Cooney. Some heavy rain in there. This will be west and northwest of Jacksonville, and this area down south. These guys in southern Rusk County and Cherokee County, and I mean all of this area down here. This stuff hadn't even been touched. So we've done a lot. We've worked a lot of juice out of the air here north, but we got a lot of it left over. Southern and southeastern counties for for storms to continue to hustle for a while. Winds picking up, Terry and Bullard. Okay. A lot of thunder and lightning, actually, near TJC. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, this will start to subside in Tyler here in the next 15, 20 minutes. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you, Hazel. Thank you. 2 vehicles underwater, Lee says. 135 underneath the railroad tracks, underneath the railroad bridge north, of the traffic circle. Okay, thank you. That flash flooding can really get you, especially at night. Look back here and see what else is cooking. A few spots that kind of light up, but nothing that's looks more heavy rain at this point, really. Can this storm be over yet? Kendra, that's funny. I know. I thought the same thing. At about 3:30 and 4:30 and 5:30. Be nice to sleep a little bit, but Dominique asking about Whitehouse. Just a lot of a lot of heavy rain in Whitehouse area at the moment. Um, we'll have some wind in there too, potentially 40 to 60-mile-an-hour winds. Severe thunderstorm warning does cover Tyler, Whitehouse, Noonday, New Summerfield. That's this yellowish orange polygon there. Okay, that's going to be for straight line winds from this stuff right here that's coming in from the north from the northwest. Two inches since 4:20 near Perryville. Okay, Susie, thank you for that. I know where Perryville is at. Good stuff. Sold a couple properties up there last year. Power outages for Tyler, Melissa. I'll have to look that up. I would not be surprised if we had a good number of those. Just reached out to a guy with Encore. We'll see if we can get some specs on that for you. All right. Yeah, Weather Service saying strongest storms associated with this line are getting in towards the Gregg County Airport right now, extending southwest to near New London. Yeah, that all jives. So this area right in here, that's going to be a straight line wind concern mainly, though. Hail in Whitehouse, Lacey. Okay, thank you for that. Any indication on size is appreciated, but not required for sure. So, but if you can give me some, that's great. Yeah, a lot of lightning concentrated in there for Whitehouse, and then back to the southwest toward Bullard, east of Teasleville, down to just west of Mount Selman. Tornado warning officially for another, what is that, 7 minutes? Yeah. So they're going to keep that tornado warning going for another 7 minutes for extreme eastern Smith, southwestern Gregg, and northwestern Rusk counties. Haven't seen much that just was making me nervous out of that. Dimes in Chapel Hill, Andrea. Thank you for that. Yeah, Brittany, it is encouraging when you see you got a lot of folks with you. I know it's uncomfortable when you've got thunder and lightning going on at night, which was one of the reasons why I was up earlier, just kind of keeping an eye on that, and let you know what's going on. I know it can be spooky anytime it's thundering at your place. It's a little off-putting, especially after dark. So I get that, but you are not alone. Yeah, we've got quite a few folks who are hanging in here, so it's good. There's strength in numbers. Hale and Bullard, Whitney. Okay, thanks for that. Not surprised to hear that. So we'll see what the Weather Service ends up doing. I think they'll probably let this thing expire here, this tornado warning expire in about 4 minutes. Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like things have settled somewhat. You'll see a blip here or there, but it doesn't seem to have staying power, at least for the moment. Lightning seems to have calmed down here in Tyler a lot. Let's scan through a couple of these things real fast. A lot of comments, y'all. Appreciate that greatly. Man, a lot of comments. Yeah, settling down in Tyler. Yeah, Kendra, I agree. Still be some rain behind this stuff, but not like it was. Brianne, you bet. Sorry about your electricity. Appreciate you, Brett. Brissia, thank you. Yeah, if you've seen any flooding, if you're out and about this morning, Weather Service is asking what the flooding situation looks like in Smith County and in Gregg County, for that matter. So if you have noticed any flooding, I was looking, actually, that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to find this report from someone who had mentioned flooding, a flooded vehicle earlier. So if you have noticed any flooding, anything unusual from that perspective, let me know, because I do want to pass that along to them. We do have a flash flood warning in place for Smith County and several of the counties downstream, including Longview, by the way. But if you see anything in that realm, let me know. That's great. Mike, yeah, Jocelyn, your yard looks like a lake. I got you. Yeah. We've got a tree in our front yard that we've been trying to help out and keeping it well good and watered. Went out and watered it last night. It's amazing. The rain is good. Some of these trees, you really want to soak them heavily, and even the rain that we got, sometimes it's a little bit tough for the rain to do as much as we might want it to do. Appreciate you, Mike. I'm glad to be here. Quiet west of Overton. Thanks, Mike. You bet, Jaylee. 50-mile-an-hour wind just measured at Longview at the Gregg County Airport, or East Texas Regional, I should say. So that's not surprising. You bet, PK. Javier, we'll be around, bud. We'll be around. Yeah, they'll let this warning will go here right now, actually. I guess there's about a 20 to 30 second delay from what you're seeing here to real time, but not much. So we got 6:15 now. There goes that tornado polygon. Yeah, Trevor, and it is gone. Yeah. Well, Nita, I'm glad to be of assistance. Thanks. Carrie, you working today? You're on the ambulance today, aren't you, brother? Gosh, man, be safe. The kind of stuff you guys must see on a day like today. Tree across New Copeland Road at Dartmouth. Okay. Thanks, Kimberly. Appreciate that. That's gracious. All right, so see trees across County Road 115, power line across County Road 129. Okay. Kelly, is that in southern Smith County? Kelly, I'm sorry, I'm with the county road designations. Those things can go in a lot of areas. So if you wouldn't mind just throwing something in there, and I'm glad to pass that along. Slight flooding in the Azalea District, Laura? Okay, thank you. Getting gusty in ARP, Cindy says. Okay. Between Whitehouse and Bullard. Okay. Thank you very much, Kelly. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. So. Gonna send some of these reports real quick, y'all. It's really strange to type on different keyboards. You get accustomed to particular keyboards. On my MacBook, I'm used to typing, but I get on another keyboard and it just looks like I'm hunting and pecking. Yeah, you guys in Whitehouse, Ashley asking about Whitehouse. Still some heavy rain there, but for the time being, I think we'll see this thing settle down a little bit more. So yeah, this seems to be, kind of transitioning somewhat into more of the straight line of wind situation. Again, the wind thing is going to be more of an issue on the leading edge of this line. Okay, that's where you start to see, if you can see a little spin up, you can see that it'll be mainly on the leading edge of all this. Now you have some areas where the winds the line kind of bulges out. Keep an eye on those little bow echoes. You can deal with some spin ups there. Thanks, Miss Faye. Appreciate you. Peas in Berryville. Thanks, Dina. Kilgore, Liberty City area. Yeah, Daisy. Okay. Just some heavy rain at the time there, Daisy. Should begin to let up here in the next 20, 30 minutes, I would think. Hailing there, Miss Faye? Okay. Berryville and Pointer. Yeah. Okay, Shelby, thank you. A little bit of hail. All right. All right, Weather Service they're gonna go with some additional severe thunderstorm warnings downstream to cover this leading edge. You see here's here that leading edge is, and there's the remainder of the warning, the severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's make a pretty good progress. About 8 minutes to go or so on that. Okay, Ashley, thank you for that. So 622. We've been rolling here for, what is that? When did we start all this? I've lost track. Was it 5 o'clock? I know it was in the 4 o'clock hour. So if you're just now waking up, you guys further south, you've missed quite a show so far as the storms are concerned. Haven't had any reports that any of that tornado warning stuff touched down or did anything that at least I've heard of. But we'll see, what things look like once daylight hits, and we're able to assess some of that. But as we go through the morning and this thing transitions further south, this air mass down here is quite untapped. So, I went out earlier this morning after an initial shower came through, and I think the dew point was like at 76 or something. It was incredibly sticky, so there was a lot of juice. You could feel it in the atmosphere, and so there was a lot for these things to consume energy-wise, and so a lot of rain. That's why you can't do the kind of heavy rain that we did without a lot of moisture to work with, and you could feel it. You could feel it earlier. Temps down to 67. Yeah, 67 here in Tyler. Dew points down to 65. So it doesn't feel as uncomfortable. It's still humid, but it's not as, at least the dew point's not up where it was earlier. Got the flash flood warnings for Smith, Gregg, Northern, Rusk. Wind's kicking up in Wright City, Bill. I got you. Thanks, Keith. I see you there. Yeah, you guys, Liberty City, you're getting, you're still in the mix on that. Overton, Henderson, you guys haven't seen too much yet, but it's on the way. Same thing for you guys, New Summerfield. You're in the severe thunderstorm warning proper, but you haven't seen much yet. You'll see that outflow get into New Summerfield here shortly, coming right down to 110. You bet, Diana. A lot of wind and troop, Robin? Okay. Thank you for that, ma'am. Yeah, so you can see the lightning. I got to take a look at my rain gauge here. In about 35 minutes, having problems with my Davis station. It's oversampling quite a bit, but it's showing over 4 inches of rain, but I'm not trusting that right now. So we'll see what the Coco Ross and the Weather Service gauge show. Speaking of, let's look at this real fast. We'll hang here for a little bit longer. No tornado warnings at the moment. So here's Doppler estimated rainfall, okay? One of them, we got a lot of products that we can play around with on the radar, but this is one of them. So it looks to me, you see the little indicator there in the middle with that number that's kind of vacillating. So pretty widespread, 2.5 to 3 inch totals across the city of Tyler. Close to 3 or around 3. Lindale, Hideaway Lake. Let's get down here. So we're going to see, there's a 4 east or west of Whitehouse. Hadn't been a ton of hail, so I'll give this a little bit more credit. And then lesser amounts as you get out of here. Hadn't rained as long, but that's a nice little pocket of 3 to close to 4 inch totals. South Tyler. 296 off of Old Noonday. Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate you. Yeah, Blake, I know that internet and electricity, you can lose that pretty fast. Look at some of these totals too. Wow. These are Doppler estimates. We'll see what the gauges show, but it's a widespread swath of 4+ inch rain right through Kilgore on up towards Longview, southwest side of Longview, 336. And look at these totals up. Wow, look at that up there. Bowie County. Oh, wow. 6 inches plus. I wonder if there was some hail with that. I was not looking at storms there last night. So if there was hail, then that'll inflate it. But wow, that's impressive too. So Weather Service is in the process of issuing some kind of product. There they go. 28. So there's some impressive rainfall totals in there. So let's get back on radar and we'll talk about, here we go. Let's hit that real fast.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
So 6:29 now, new severe thunderstorm warning for folks, central Cherokee County, this whole new assortment coming out. That's Panola County, southern Harrison County, northwestern Shelby County, cover Nacogdoches County. So this will all run for up to quarters and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that'll run until, let's say, 7:30. All right. So it'll be severe thunderstorm warning. This is not a tornado warning. You see these widespread warnings issued when you've got these kinds of, stretched out lines of storms coming in. So nothing out of the ordinary there. No power in troop. Well, shoot, Robin. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Hope you have a good day. Happy Memorial Day to you guys. I hate what this will potentially do to impact the services and whatnot that we have. But we're thankful for the rain. 3.7 south of 49 between Flint and Whitehouse. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. Yeah, at least most folks are off, so I'm with you. So, this rainfall continues. As far as I've had people asking about what happens the rest of the day, models had been showing some additional development potentially for later in the day. It'll be interesting to see, how things transition during the day. This is an awful lot of zapping that took place this morning. So we'll watch that. I didn't have any plans of doing a 7-day forecast anyway today. I take these holidays like this and just we'll take it a little bit easier. But I'll be watching stuff. We're going to do some lunch with Mom and Dad here a little bit later on, and but we'll keep tabs on stuff and talk if we need to through the day. But it still looks like a wet week ahead. Weather Service has got the flash flood watch or the flood watches out until tomorrow morning through tomorrow morning for additional development that occurs. And now that you've put this kind of rainfall down, it's going to make flooding a much quicker potential proposition. So going through the next couple of days, our sandy soil can absorb a lot, but still there's stuff that can come along behind this and be a little bit more problematic when it comes to the rain. And when you've got waterlogged soil, it also makes wind more effective too, pulling down trees, things like that. So don't let that catch you off guard either. But with the way the warnings are kind of trending now, I'm going to step back here for a little bit, and we'll post warnings as they come in. From this point on, if something gets crazy out of hand, obviously, I won't hesitate to come in. But when it comes to traditional, severe thunderstorm warnings, we tend to handle those and get on. Try to leave you with the impression that if we're on for a reason. I'm not here to waste your time and that nature, or mine for that matter. So. Thank y'all for being up this morning so early. We've had a lot of folks pulling in here and watching, so appreciate that greatly. Thanks again, as I mentioned earlier, to our friends at Rose City Air for helping to support the cause here. And if you got HVAC things you need help with, give Heath and the folks over there a call. They've been helping us out for a long time at our house, and can't think of better people to partner with. As we talked about, or we haven't really talked much about the social media stuff here in a bit, but if you follow me on one of these places, you may not follow on some of the others. So we're on X there. We do stream live to X. We stream live to YouTube. I've done a couple of career days over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and the little kids especially, they're just amazed with YouTube. So when I tell them I'm on there, it's like I'm somebody. So I got a little street cred with the kids on the YouTube side of things, but we also hang there on Facebook quite a bit, and we do stuff on Instagram. So if you are a piece of any of those places, thanks for following along. It helps us to spread the word on things. And if you've got friends who maybe are not social media active, but they do get on YouTube, it's crazy how many people do that, then that might be an option. Let them know about us. I'd appreciate that. Tell them to follow me there at Doc Deason. I hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your Memorial Day. Congrats on getting up early. Look at there. I mean, the day's already started for you. So I'm going to go check some rain gauges, make some hot tea, and we'll be talking as we need to throughout the day. But I do appreciate you greatly being here and hanging out with me on these mornings like this. I hope we're a help for you. And we will, regardless, talk to you soon. All right?
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the call.